Okay folks, welcome to Art 101. We're still on the commission piece, which is kind of fun. As you can see, I've got the base laid in here for the saddle, and you can kind of see it has a three-dimensional look to it, which is really cool. Now, some things I have to do, other things I'm going to put over top. I'm also referencing a painting photograph. As you can see, it's been moved around a little bit, and so is the reference. So it's got to resemble this a little bit, but I'm handling it a little different, so it might appear a little different than this. And the reason why is because anytime you're doing a commission, things slightly change. Now, in the realm wide world, to make sure that the customer and everybody is on the same page, I always send update on photographs. And I've been teaching this week, so yeah, my brain, you can see I really look kind of alive. Oh, hang on. My water was still running. And so I really haven't had a chance to work on this, but I've had a lot of chances to study it this week, which is really good. I kind of need that. So as you can see in the photograph, as you can see as I'm painting you with here, you're actually seeing kind of a three-dimensional saddle. Now, is it going to be this color, which is this brownish color? No. I'll see if I can't pull this off. I try to rip it. I've had some issues with that. Okay, let me pull this off so you can kind of see it. There we go. Okay. So there's that. There's the, there's the saddle. So it's a tannish brown, which is really kind of cool. I like it. But, I didn't like it on the first one, and I didn't like the tan on the second one because the horse kind of like dictates where it is, how I like it. Now, so I want you to notice that the reference for here. Now, one thing I can do if I'm trying to isolate the saddle down, I can pull a print, just blow that up, or I can just do this, fold the tape over, and take it a little closer to the saddle. Fold this way. Try not to fold it too bad because the more creases you have in something, the less you're able to see. So I'm going to take this down to the saddle itself, or attempt to. So we always have our reference, close to where we're at, what we're doing. So when we get working, there. So now we're not so distracted by the rest of the horse. I mean, this part is there. I could fold it down even more, but this also brings it up. This photographs has been pulled out, worked out a little bit, but you can kind of see where I'm putting it close to my reference. Okay, so now every single shape in here has to either drop back, come forward. So if it's dropping back, I want to add some cool colors. Now in the photograph, I've got some, it looks like whites, teals, and stuff like that. I got some lighter colors here, but then I got this steel blue color that's predominant. Now this is as close as I can find to what I created a long time ago. This is by Lucas, and it's called Steel Blue. Okay, I think Zoolander used that term, steel blue. Anyway, so I got that going on. Now, I'm not going to use a big brush for this. I want to kind of handle this a little differently. Oh, and by the way, the client was curious about this part of the horse, so I'll address that right now because you can kind of see it there, but she really liked that white. So for her, I can put that in now because there's not a whole lot of change on that. So let me grab my white here and I'll show you what I'm talking about. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and use the filbert for this. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go off of here. And it just kind of like drops in there like so. So, no, a little too wet. Sorry. And that'll kind of clean itself up when I drop in my background. Go in here. So you can kind of see it's a little bit resembles that. When I add the rest of it in, it'll work really well. Go back here. I like this part of the horse where the bridle comes up and breaks that loose. So I'll protect that, and I'll drop this in here. So you can kind of see that gave it a little bit of that feeling of what's up there. And I will put some more color over here to kind of represent, and that'll make it a little bit easier. Pull these out, not to muck with them. Now, a couple things I can do with this white, I can actually go in and, heighten some things that I'm seeing in the imagery here. One thing here, I can come in here, pull that down, so it brings this up a little bit. And I notice that behind the stirrup, it kind of goes like so. And we kind of got it going here. So you can kind of see how these things all play a part in trying to come up with something similar to what I'm seeing here. And this is only if you're trying to match, actually trying to match a commission piece. So since I'm left-handed, I'm going to move you to the other side so you can kind of see this. Okay, there. I'm also looking here. Now there's certain parts with the sun where the light's hitting that I want to bring forward. So I want to definitely bring that. I also want to bring the top part of the saddle horn. That type thing. So it kind of adds that little bit of reflection. Let me see here if I can reduce. No, it's this one here. There we go. Okay. So there's certain areas, the back of the saddle here. It's like I'm not trying to do all of it. I'm trying to do enough of it where it impacts the way light hits. And working with Da Vinci's theory right here. I changed that a little bit, but I'm going to come here like so. And I might just pull that up here a little bit. So it has that kind of effect. Now notice I am using my big brush. I don't necessarily want to use my small brush on this. Okay, I'm going to come here. So you can kind of see those little tiny effects that are hitting. It's like what I got to do with this right here. Attack right there. I got to come here to the saddle. Now on here it's a little dark blue, but I'm going to highlight that first. And I want to, when I look at there, I've got some different elements in here, but I'm going to change this as I go. But the first thing I want to do is I want to go opposites. Because there's a lot of blue in that, but I'm going to actually add so I'm going to change things up a little bit and highlight and emphasize. So when I do put in that steel blue, that off. And that's where we can start, pulling some elements down so it's not always so harsh. This right here, I want to pull that way. Notice I'm using direct lines. I want to use one here to bring focus there, which is really kind of cool. So it adds these, starting adding these elements that change the dynamics of how we look at this painting to kind of resemble the original photograph. Now, the bigger question you should be asking yourself is when you're doing this, does it have to be exactly like the original? If you can get it look exactly like the original and you can copy that, awesome. So right now I'm just going to step back, take a look. You know, I'm going to come here. I want this to really kind of a close association. To the original commission. And I've built up enough color underneath here that it's kind of important. So when I step back at this, I want to have a similar feeling to what I'm looking at for in the original painting. And I've got to add some colors to the head, but right now I'm going to move to the tail. You know, it's kind of a that. Now some of these things I haven't really added a teal to that either. I'm going to put this in first, and then I'll go back over it when I've got everything kind of laid out. I'm going to drop this in because the back of the hawk here is really defined in, and here a little bit of it there, like that. I'm going to look back here. This has a lot of teal in it, so I'll point at putting that in. But really when I'm looking for elements that are very similar to that original. So then when the customer looks, they have something that has a similar feel to it. And that's kind of how you do this. I mean, it's not about, you know, trying to make it exact, but a good close feeling to it. Yeah, there we go. And like back to this back, this horse had a lot of white here, so I'm going to drop this in. Straighten that up. And then of course we had white here. I'm always looking toward that original image, because I've got the basic shape in here. I got everything kind of laid out in here, and now it's a matter of just you know, dropping these things in, these elements, and I'll be doing the bridle and stuff like that here a little bit later. So I'm really kind of happy with that. Now I've also got some. This is actually dioxazine violet, so I'll put some of that in there. But I want to step back, take a look, see what I got. And I'm pretty pleased with that. Whenever you're working, remember, never just work in one specific area. Kind of go opposites, move around your painting a little bit. And as you're looking at this stuff here, you can kind of see, if I pull this off here and show you, it's you know, it has that similar feel, as it should. So here's the original, there's the print. And like I said, not exact, but similar. Okay, so because nothing's ever going to be exact to the original unless you just do a print, and then it's like, I'm not going to worry too much about it. So right now I've got a very similar thing. I've worked for what, maybe 3 to 5 minutes to call it a day. I'm not going to work too hard. And that's how painting goes, folks. So if you got any questions, please post them below. If you got any opinions, please post them below. You know, and right now I'm still in process, I'm still working, I'm still playing a little bit. I'm getting close to about 3/4 finished with this, so I want to be real careful when I work. I don't want to try to do that last push. That'll be all highlighting, that'll be small brush. You know, I still have to work on the eye, kind of do those things, make him have that happy feeling that she really enjoyed so much about that. So guys, this is Kevin with Art 101. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. Post comments. Kevin out.